All right, NoJumper.com. I'm here with Zach of FTP, Fuck the Population. How's it going, Zach? What are you doing?
Chilling, man. Just got back from my studio, just packing orders and shit.
Yeah.
It's like right around the corner.
Right. So you're from LA, right?
Yeah, born and raised in LA and shit.
What area?
I was born in Inglewood, but grew up in like Culver City, and then moved out to Crenshaw when I was like 12 or 13.
Okay.
Crenshaw and Rodeo.
Yeah. And so do you have a pretty like how would you describe your upbringing? Was it rough?
Nah, that's cliche. Everybody be like, "Oh, I had a rough." I was straight. I mean, my dad's was like a little gangbanger, like a little fucked up dude, but it was straight. You know what I mean? My mom's took care of me.
Yeah. So at what age did you start your first brand? Was it always FTP, or did you have something else going before that?
FTP. It was just spelled backwards. It was like KCUF, the population.
Uh-huh.
That was 10th grade in high school, and like the school was like people were just tripping, so I spelled it backwards just to make it a little bit more safer.
Who even put it in your head that you could potentially start your own clothing line?
I mean, that was just me. I mean, I used to see Phil and Kobe of like Dirtbag and Death Precision do that shit back when I was younger. But I mean, I just knew I could do that shit.
Right. And so did you, from like an early age, like what was like your intention, or like were you a graphic design kid, or were you like a skate kid, or like what were you trying to get across with your brand in like the early days?
Just a message like that you need to be yourself. Like kids don't even necessarily have to buy FTP, but I just want kids to know that they can think for themselves and just do what they want to do. Right.
Were you going with the whole like offensive side of things like early on? Like were you like obviously with the name and shit, but did you always kind of set out to offend people? Like you've definitely offended a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, people are pretty pissed. I mean, I haven't set out to piss people off, but the way my thought process is, that's how it goes. Just the designs I think of are just pretty gnarly and fucked up.
Right.
And it comes across that way. You know what I mean?
When was the first time you ever really pissed somebody off with your designs?
Right when I started in high school, 10th grade, I think they banned the brand from school in 11th grade. Nobody could wear it. You got suspended if you're caught wearing it. That shit is cool to me still.
Yeah, just that you were able to have that kind of effect.
Yeah.
So you got suspended, or did people get suspended for wearing it?
Kids got suspended for wearing it. I got in trouble too, but I mean, you couldn't wear it. You would get, like, teachers would start tripping out and you get sent to the principal office. Like,
how would you describe when people first started fucking with the brand? Like, did people just sort of gravitate towards it because of the fact that it was offensive, or were you popping in high school? Were you like
I
was
a little kid, like little just stay to myself kid. I mean, I think it's because of the name. People really started fucking with it, and then the words FTP, because people relate that to like fuck the police or whatever. Yeah. So I think that's why it started a little booming or whatever.
It's got like a little bit of a universal appeal because people do think it means fuck the police.
People can still relate it to like fuck the police. That's not what I want it to mean, but I mean that might be why some people like it.
So let's say when did you graduate high school?
I did. When
you graduated high school, like where was your mind at in terms of your brand at that point? Like what did you think that the potential was when you, because how old are you right now?
I'm 21.
Okay, so when you're 18, what was your mentality on the potential?
I could see it because there was like little not LA Times, but one of the little newspapers did an article on me when I was like 17.
Okay.
I think that's when I knew like I could really take this to like whatever level I want to.
Like when do you feel like you started to hit the mainstream, or like not the mainstream, but like the streetwear mainstream in terms of getting attention and stuff?
Maybe when I dropped the Columbine tee.
Right. And so what year was that, or when was that?
That might have been last year. That's when a lot of people went crazy and started to notice the brand. I definitely don't want to be mainstream at all, though. I'd rather be like low key as possible.
When you say the Columbine tee, can we explain exactly what this was? I've seen it online, but a lot of people probably haven't.
It was an ash gray tee that said Columbine Physical Education, just like a normal like middle school PE shirt would, and then on the back it said, "Do you believe in God?" Which is what I think Dylan might have said to the person that was dying or whatever, you know what I mean?
He said that like while he was doing the shooting?
Yeah. I threw that on the back of the t-shirt.
And so when you put something like that on a shirt, obviously you know that you're going to get a reaction, right? Or did that come into your head right away? Like,
that came into my head, and I just wanted to do the tee because I had that idea fresh, and then I just made it. I wasn't really thinking about, this is about to get a lot of buzz or whatever. I just put it out. Like, how did that 48 units or whatever, that shit sold out in like 2 minutes or something, like crazy.
Really?
And that was last year. That T went crazy.
So with something like Columbine, that's obviously like before you were a little kid when that happened. Like,
Yeah.
So what are you doing? Are you out there like researching different topics? And
I was watching a documentary when I had made that specific T. I just wanted to make it. I thought it would be cool. Like, I didn't mean to go out and hurt anybody's feelings, because I got a lot of emails about that shirt. That's why I'm not gonna re-release it ever. But just a lot of emails from like families or whatever, just gnarly shit.
Do you think it's important, like as a streetwear brand or as whatever kind of brand that you might be, that you push boundaries, and that like is it important to do stuff like that because it's a promotional thing, or is it important to do stuff like that because you want people to open their mind and at least consider different things?
Yeah, just do whatever you want. I mean, that's why I do it literally. I make whatever the fuck I want to make. I don't care whose feelings might be hurt tomorrow or the next day. Like, I'll make whatever or say whatever the fuck I want. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess shit, just make whatever.
Can we talk about like the term streetwear? Were you ever comfortable with that early on? Like, did it occur to you like, I want to start a streetwear brand?
I think back when I started, it might have been streetwear. My mindset has changed though. I don't really want to be considered a streetwear brand.
What is your definition of streetwear?
Fucking like the old school fucked and like fucking awesome and like fresh drive, like old shit, like cool, like it was like actual shit people wore in the streets, like not fucking like pinked off and colorful. Like, that shit is weird.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the term streetwear is anymore.
Exactly.
I don't even want to consider myself a streetwear brand or whatever.
See, it's a weird term because it's like if somebody were to it's not a title that a lot of people like proudly wear. Like if somebody said to me like, oh, you're a BMX dude or you're a hip hop head, I'd be like, yeah, all right, cool, I'm down with that. Or you're a hardcore kid, whatever. People wear those terms with pride, but then streetwear is a weird industry because it's like it's all these different like disconnected companies that don't really seem to have that much in common, except for the fact that they're sort of drawn from the same inspirations and trying to put out stuff that people like or whatever. But like, you ever been to Agenda?
I have, unfortunately.
It's wild, right? Like, there's so much weird shit there. Like, and what do all these fucking people have in common is like the thing that I don't get, except for the fact that they want to make money.
Yeah, that's Agenda's mad corny. I'm actually doing it this year I'm gonna disrespect a lot of brands. I'm gonna just go and put like one shirt up like as a joke, and it's just gonna be, you'll see, it's gonna be crazy.
What was your first big controversial thing with the streetwear world? Because obviously you got in trouble with the Columbine thing, or not in trouble, but you had some bullshit. But when did you really start to upset like the old heads in the industry?
Let me see. I don't know about the old heads, because a lot of the old heads actually support me, surprisingly. Like, just a lot of big names support me. But I don't know. Shit, maybe the terrorist tee, that pissed a lot of people off.
Okay, yeah, that's a very good point. We definitely have to talk about that. But I'm talking more about like the 100 shit, and like a lot of brands, they would never have the balls to go at somebody more established than them. Like, what was it? Is that just an issue where was it well thought out, or is that just you speaking your mind?
The 100 shit is, I just think they oversaturated the streetwear industry or whatever. I don't really fuck with them, so I just decided to diss them. The 100s kill streetwear. Because I think they made a Jesus...
right, the God Hates Streetwear thing.
Streetwear, so I just flipped that and was like, the 100s killed streetwear.
Right. So, that's funny. I thought that was a pretty funny joke on their part, because you ever see those signs? That was a ripoff of the God Hates Fags thing, which is like the craziest looking sign you ever seen in your life. And so for them to do that... But you're right, like... It was weird because when I found out it was the 100s, I was like, oh, that's a weird voice for that joke that I actually thought was pretty funny to be coming from, you know? But like, so can you take me through the timeline? Like, you post that, and then did you hear anything from them when you put that on
they
Instagram?
didn't respond. They never responded. Well, my homie was at the 100s like headquarters, and they were saying the dudes up there fuck with me heavy. So, I mean, I think they get it. Like, their shit is played out. So somebody had to come at them, So.
It's got to be a weird perspective to be like 40 running a streetwear brand, and then you got to do
as
like
a lawyer. They're lawyers.
Those dudes are lawyers?
Yeah,
or
whatever.
I didn't know that. But like, from their perspective, they probably look at you and they're like, well, he's young and he's got almost exactly the same mentality as we did when we started out. So even if you're hating on them because they're kind of the establishment, they sort of do have to look at it and be like, if kids are fucking with this and he's hating on the mainstream or the industry stuff, then I mean, maybe he has a point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Much respect to the 100s though. I mean, they are like the first I wore that shit back in the day, like the damn atom bomb or whatever.
Okay.
But their shit, it's like, I don't know, it's done.
See, it's weird for me because I'm from the East Coast and I didn't have that like Stussy 100s fucking diamond, like all that shit was, I mean, I guess people wear it on the East Coast and stuff, but it's not like it is out here where it's like everywhere you fucking look.
Right.
and
shit's everywhere.
Yeah, it's an interesting scene.
Oversaturated.
Yeah, I never really understood like the whole concept of streetwear brands that don't have something behind it. I guess, or like I think as a brand, and I'm not saying that they don't have anything behind it or whatever. I'm just saying that as a brand, I think you need like a really strong reason to exist.
Exactly.
Because the whole thing with clothing is that we all know that this is just ridiculous. That like nobody needs more fucking t-shirts.
Yeah,
you can go to Walmart and you can buy a $3 t-shirt and it's fine.
Right.
So like
if you're gonna wear it, you gotta have a message or something.
Right, and then I was reading an article about you where they called you the anti-streetwear brand. How do you feel about that?
I guess that's a good little phrase. That's how it is. I don't really want to put myself in a category.
Right.
I see it more as like not necessarily a gang, but at the same time a gang, because every kid that's wearing my shit feels like they're a part of something, you know?
Right.
And they are.
You
I personally have their back, you know what I mean?
Right. You got some high-profile friends, though, that have helped support the brand and stuff. Like, how do you get Fredo doing a lookbook for you?
That's all through shit. I think young Gleesh.
Okay.
Because that's my homie. And
how's he your homie? How you know him?
Shit, fucking with him back before he blew up, sending him like a couple logo tees and shit.
Okay.
And just from there, we got organic relationship.
Can you get him on the podcast?
Yeah,
that'd be lit. Because he never spoke publicly about his whole situation, and I want to get down to the fucking
He'll probably
the real
do it
story.
And tell you the real. That's the realest man. That's why I fuck with him. To me, he's not a fucking rapper. Because I don't like to hang out with rappers. He's a normal human.
Right. I loved it that when he got out of jail, like fucking for that shit, which is you'd think most celebrities, most rappers, they would get out of jail for like he was being charged with raping someone or whatever. And instead of being chill and low key about it, he just goes on Twitter and starts raging against some thought that like DM'd him and then was talking shit about him on Twitter.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing he did when he got out of jail. I was like, this is the funniest shit I ever seen.
Yeah, he be going in.
He's
that's
reckless.
My man, though. But yeah, that's how I got Fredo in the shit, because just through like mutual homies or whatever.
Right. And is it tough getting somebody like him who, presumably most of the time when you see Fredo wearing some shit, he's getting paid for it?
Right. I mean, I wouldn't really do nothing like that again. I don't really like artists and shit wearing my brand.
Just artists in general?
Not for real. But Fredo is real cool, so it's something I just had to do, like as a personal, maybe like a personal achievement or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, it was real cool. That lookbook was crazy.
Do you think when you do something like that, does that get you a shitload of attention for the brand?
Yeah. I'm definitely not going to sit there and act like it doesn't, because that definitely boosted my brand up to, like, I got a couple thousand followers from that or whatever. But
okay.
That's why I don't really like to use artists and shit, because I just want to build this shit up by like naturally. I don't really have to use some man with almost 1 million followers to get me on, because I want to do that shit myself.
Right. And it's weird too, because once you really start associating your brand with different artists or whatever, then you're tied to them.
Hip-hop brand, or it's a fucking rap label, trap, whatever.
Right. And like 3 years ago, if you were a streetwear brand, you would have seen Trinidad James and you would have been like, oh, that's a good cosign, like I want that cosign. And then a couple years later, it's like that shit would make you look a totally different way. And it's just, you know.
I don't want any cosign from any rapper, even though a lot of them, like, they fuck with me because they fuck with me as a person. But I don't want, like, a cosign from anybody.
Who do you, who would be, like, if you could do another lookbook tomorrow and you could get, like, any rapper to rock it? Anyone in the hip-hop world, whatever. Even outside that, even in music and shit. Who's the first one that comes to mind?
Shit.
Drake?
Nah, hell no. Like, person or rapper? He's just a rapper.
Just any person that's like involved in that, like person that you would want to model for you that you feel kind of, because like Fredo really kind of, he probably represents the mentality of the brand, definitely.
Right? Shit, maybe like, fuck, somebody from 3-6 probably.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. That's true. You grew up listening to that shit?
I didn't grow up listening to it, but definitely, I mean, their shit is crazy.
What did you grow up listening to?
Fuck.
Because people assume West Coast hip hop is weird.
Yeah, I think I grew up probably listening to fucking radio shit, actually.
Right.
Whatever was on the fucking radio, I listened to.
Were you paying attention when Our Future blew up, and did it make you pay attention and be like, damn, that could kind of be like my shit?
No, I was definitely like, I fuck with their shit back in the day. Everybody did. Their shit went crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, it was like a fucking, they were going crazy, man.
Yeah, because that was like the first time that you seen like young black kids from LA
just doing it and going crazy.
Right, yeah.
Those are some of the homies anyway. But
so you know those guys?
A couple people.
A little bit here.
I don't know like Tyler or anybody like that.
Well, it's a little disconnected now anyway, I think.
Yeah, it's still cool though, man. You gotta I respect what he did.
Right.
He started like a whole new like almost culture.
Right.
It went crazy.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing is I think he made a lot of kids feel like they could be themselves in a way.
Yeah, they could do some shit on their own or just be who they are. Like, yeah, he definitely went crazy, man. Back in like when I was in high school, that shit was going crazy.
Because being in LA and shit, that's why I think LA has like a weird identity crisis in terms of hip hop or in terms of like urban culture, is because everybody wants to associate it with some gangbanging shit or some, you know, old school fucking bumping in the lack hip hop shit. But at the end of like when Tyler came out, it's like more realistic. Like, it's like most of the people
weird. You could be your fucking self.
You could be a skater kid, like a 16-year-old black skater kid is like, that's common. You see it all the time in LA, but that wasn't being represented on like the hip hop side of things. Instead, like the number one rapper is being looked at like the game. But that's a whole different world in terms of like.
Nah, definitely much respect to our future. They killed it, man. Still killing it.
Yeah. What about Slim Jesus? What are your thoughts on him?
me and his fucking manager going at it real quick.
Really? You got into it? I saw you not on Twitter.
No, not into it. I mean, he's like, we be somehow texting back and forth. That's another story, though. But,
wait, let's hear the give me a part of the story. So you go on Twitter and you diss Slim Jesus. What were your thoughts when you first saw that video?
That was corny.
Yeah, but it's so corny that it's like, yeah, it's really corny. Like, I can't even believe this is real. Yeah,
corny as shit. I'm not finna go into that though, just because like me and his manager on a cool level.
Okay,
I'm not rocking with. That's another topic, man.
But is his manager? Does he have your respect? His manager, at least.
His manager fucks with me.
Really?
Yeah, but you're not about to see a Slim Jesus for FTP.
Nah,
ever. Nah.
Did it hurt you in the heart when you saw Chief Keef posing with Slim Jesus for that photo?
I knew it was just him taking a fan photo. I didn't really care.
Chief Keef actually had to come out and be like, yo, he's not in my crew. Yeah, I don't fuck with him like that. Y'all crazy. Blah, blah, blah.
I peeped that. Seen that.
Let's go back to the terrorism thing. So you make a shirt that says what?
It said, "Fuck the population, terrorist organization."
Right.
That was just me just going in on, it was just a random thought. Like, what could I put on it? I did that, released it. That shirt went crazy. I did way too many units on that.
Right. I'm just gonna interject. I think anytime you find something that you can't say, that's what you got to like hone in on, because that's what, if there's something that you can't say in conversation, then there's probably some truth to it. If there's something that's just a taboo, you know, and that to me is like that kind of thing, because you putting that on a shirt, kind of, it's even if you're not intentionally doing it, it's drawing attention to the fact that the concept of terrorism is kind of silly and kind of broad.
The reason I actually did the T is I was like, I didn't want to put "Fuck the Population" streetwear brand. So I was like, what else can I associate myself with? So "Fuck the Population" terrorist organization, which is more of what the damn brand actually is.
Right.
Fucking, it's not a streetwear brand. But I did that, and then a couple weeks later or whatever, I get a little letter from, I think it was maybe Department of Treasury, or it was one of the shits. I should have brought the letter in.
Right.
Just saying like, this is not, like, this tea is not okay. You need to halt sales on this tea, blah, 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 whatever. And then. But
see, that's the first thing, is that they can't really stop you because it's a First Amendment thing.
But
they shut down your PayPal, right?
Crazy, man. They deleted my PayPal. The PayPal deletion might have been from another incident, because I sent a payment to my homie Kobe, titled North Korea, because that's what it was for, like a design.
Oh, really?
And then they shut my shit down. Just a lot of crazy shit. It could also be back to, like, I was posting a rocket launcher on Instagram and Twitter.
Oh, like a real, like you had a rocket launcher?
Yeah, like a week prior. Where
the fuck did you find a rocket launcher?
All one.
You just at the homie's house and you just happen to have it?
Yeah, man.
Damn, I didn't know they got down like that.
It's my shit though, but
yeah,
I don't have it at my house no more. Crazy.
So were you a graffiti kid when you were younger?
Nah, definitely not.
No, you never were?
Nah.
But are you like into that culture? Are you interested in it, or what?
It's cool, yeah. I'm not really like into the graffiti culture. I just like to make clothes, to be honest with you.
Right.
I mean, I'll spray some shit every now and then, just like if I want to spray FTP somewhere.
Right.
Like a fucking pink dolphin billboard.
Yeah. That's
every now and then.
Clearly, that was the next question here. So, how did this Ian Connor thing happen? He does the collab with Pink Dolphin, and prior to that, did you have any kind of friendship or relationship with him at all?
Nah, I don't know the man. Okay. Still to this day.
You still never met him?
Nah.
Okay, and so he does that Pink Dolphin collab, and you didn't like it, I'm assuming? What happened?
I just always think Pink Dolphin is trash. It had nothing really to do with Ian. His face just happened to be on the billboard.
Right.
Next day. I don't know if this was next day that the billboard was up, but I had to hit the billboard up with FTP.
Yeah. And so what was the fallout from that?
Like what happened after?
Yeah.
That shit actually boosted my damn brand too. Just
Really?
like the Fredo shit went crazy. Like another 1,000 followers or whatever. 'Cause of that shit. I mean, that's not what I was going for. I just wanted to tell Pink Dolphin that their shit is trash.
But so did Ian trip out on you? He did, right?
He did. Got
In
a
what
phone
way?
call.
Oh, a phone call. Okay.
Phone call. We went at it. But I mean, I told him what's good. I mean, we're straight now though.
What did you tell him? You were just like, I don't fuck with you, or I don't fuck with Pink Dolphin.
I tried to break it down. I was like, this had nothing to do with you, bro. Like this is towards Pink Dolphin.
Right.
And then we just, I don't know, we're straight.
What do you hate about Pink Dolphin? Just the fact that the shit looks like a bunch of fucking Easter eggs or something? It looks like there should be an Easter egg hunt in the store when I drive by it.
It's just garbage, man. It just shouldn't be streetwear. They should be, I don't know, man. Their shit is trash.
So we need people like you to actually just
and Cena,
call
Pink
it
Dolphin
honest.
is trash too, and I hope he watches this interview.
Who is it?
The dude Cena who runs that shit.
Oh, he's the one who runs it or the one who owns it?
Yeah, he's a little fucking bitch too.
Why? Did he get at you in this whole thing?
Nah, he's just garbage.
So you never got in contact with anybody? You didn't get any legal problems?
Nah.
No, nothing
Because
like that.
I never admitted to. I don't know if I was even up there doing the billboard.
Right.
Could've
Someone
helped.
did it.
Yeah, somebody did.
So then recently I saw that you posted this tweet from Ian. I'm actually looking at it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a DM. He said, "Fuck you, Pink Dolphin. Thanks for the money. A message from Ian Connor brought to you by FTP."
Yep.
So how am I supposed to take this? Like, what is that? How did that come about?
A mind fuck. Shit, that's just him stealing money from Pink Dolphin. Because I was gonna hit their billboard up again.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was Ian's face on it because somebody had texted me like, "Yo, Ian's got another billboard or whatever." So I was gonna go hit it up again, just because it was Pink Dolphin. And then Ian DM me was like, "Yo, fuck Pink Dolphin. I don't care." Like,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And he said what he said.
It's got to be a weird position. I would think that when he does a collab with somebody, they should make him sign papers saying that he's not going to slander the brand like 6 months later, right? Isn't that how this should work?
I don't really want to talk about that dude too much though. Like, I don't really.
Yeah, I feel you.
We go separate ways. He's cool. He's on his shit, but I don't really want to talk about it.
Who else do you respect in the streetwear world?
Just like Brunetti.
Okay.
Shit. Dill, because he does fucking awesome, and that shit is cool as fuck to me.
Right.
My homies like Phil and Kobe that do Dirtbag and DPI and shit.
Uh-huh.
My homie Adam does Foul Play. Just like I fuck with people doing that shit without investors and like doing that shit by themselves.
Right.
Like off of fucking like literally by themselves with no help and shit.
Do you feel like it's weird when you see yourself on lists with all these other like streetwear brands, like multiple different lists that are like the top 10 new streetwear brands, top 5 new streetwear brands? You feel weird being put in that category?
Yeah, of course. I mean, because I never expected. I mean, my brand's it's not big or whatever, but I never expected any of this to happen. Like, I never expected my shit to be selling out online. Like, I'm real thankful for all of this shit. So yeah, it's crazy when I see my shit on whatever Fader list or whatever blog it might be, just next to some people I really fuck with and respect.
Do you see kids out in public rocking the shit, and do you go up to them and say thank you, or do you just keep, because I know you're all about being anonymous and shit?
I keep it pushing, but that shit is real crazy. Like, I'll be at a concert or whatever, and some kids wearing my like logo tee.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, like I made that and shipped that to this kid personally. It's like real crazy.
Yeah.
And this kid has no idea who the fuck I am.
Right. What about do you seriously have a Soulja Boy collab coming out?
Nah.
No, you're lying about that?
Nah. It was this dude. I might actually. The dude Agoff who signed the
Yeah,
Soulja
I know.
Boy.
Or I'm familiar with him.
He might set something up. You'll see.
Damn, that'd be crazy. Yeah. Do you really respect the Soulja Boy movement? Because I think he's a person who doesn't get enough credit for his contribution
Soulja
over
Boy
the years.
started the internet, man.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, right?
For real.
I think his Twitter bio used to say something like that. He said like king of the internet.
He
something.
did. You gotta like really look into that shit. But Soulja Boy like made it possible for a lot of people.
Really? Were you fucking with Soulja Boy when you were real young?
Yeah, like the damn Bathing Apes. I forgot what year that was.
Yeah, yeah.
Bathing Apes song and all the little dance songs and shit.
The Bathing Ape Soulja Boy song is a big introduction to streetwear for a lot of people.
Could be. Soulja, he should have got a check for that.
When Fader did that thing about you, though, they called you despicable. They called your clothing despicable.
Right.
How's
I gotta
that feel?
look that word up. Talk about it. What is that?
It means like disgusting or like horribly offensive. You know, like
word.
super just awful. I don't know.
Shit. That's what they want to think. Could be.
That's how they get the title going, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be despicable. FTP despicable clothing.
Yeah. is this your full-time job at this point? Do you make enough money off it? Because you have an office up the street, so that's a good step, right?
Right. Shit, for the past like 5 years, I've been working at Huff.
Oh, okay. So that's another brand you respect, or what's your relationship with them like?
Yeah, definitely. When I was 16, I used to camp out at the little warehouse sales. I eventually talked to Keith, the owner, and just asked him like, what's my next step? Because I have this brand. And then he was like, you should find an internship at a brand you like. And I was like, can I get one with you? And then he was like, yeah. And then from there, from like, I think 17 on the 2 weeks ago, I've been working for Keith and Huff and shit.
And so how would you, like, what kind of stuff did you start off doing there?
Just warehouse shit, like packing boxes or packing online orders.
How did you, like, move up in the whole thing? Like, how did you earn their respect?
Just being there for a while, just like normal job shit. Like, eventually moved from there to like some international sales assistant and then on the social media or whatever.
Oh, okay. So you were doing social media type stuff for them too?
Yeah.
Do you find that it's hard to find like dudes in the streetwear industry or whatever that are down to help out young kids? Because that's kind of the pattern that happens is these established brands, they hire kids.
Help anybody.
Is that the vibe that you get? Like nobody wants to help each other?
From some places. I mean, I tried to find a job at like a little streetwear company or whatever back when I was young, but nobody was really fucking with me.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm thankful for like Keith and shit.
It's got to be weird for a dude like that or like Supreme or Diamond or whatever where they bring these dudes up working for them and then those dudes just end up being better in some ways or having a more raw voice than the dudes that they were working for and all of a sudden they're off doing their own thing and all of a sudden they're the competition.
Yeah.
You a Supreme fan?
Everybody gets their start from some brand though. There's a lot of, like Mega used to work at Huff.
Right.
A lot of people get their start from some brand and then go venture off into their own deal.
What's the most important thing you ever learned from Keith?
Just to make. He was the first person that said like make whatever the fuck you want or make cool shit. I think was the email he said. But yeah, Keith is awesome, man. You
respect his mentality, like do you look at his mentality on the clothing brand and relate to it and just think like that's the kind of like person that I want to be? Like, was there anything in particular that stands out about him that makes you think like, okay, that's why he's so successful at this shit?
Shit, I just fuck with him as like a human being. Like before the clothes, like before the clothes shit, he's just a good ass human. Like he'll just talk to you about normal human shit, you know?
Right. What's your biggest? Well, I was gonna ask, you a fan of Supreme? What do you think of them?
Yeah, I mean, I like their stuff. I'm not out there standing in line for their shit, but they definitely like their shit.
When's the last time you stood in line? I never stood in line. Maybe for a club or something, but not for clothes.
Stood in line. Maybe back when I was 16 or 17 at the warehouse, the Huff warehouse sale.
Right.
I don't really like lines and shit.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. You have people. You ever seen anybody standing in line for your shit, or is it not? You never. It's all online for the most part.
It's all online. There's no way they'll be able to. But I mean,
you don't sell to retailers at all?
It's four or five. Like
in the U.S. or overseas too?
U.S. I have like 300 emails though from retailers trying to get my shit, but
really?
I don't really want to go out of proportion like that and see my shit on everybody fucking down the street like every other person wearing my shit. That shit sounds backwards, but that's how I want to run my brand.
But is that how you think of it? Is like you want to keep it exclusive to a certain extent by controlling the sales channels at least, right?
Right, and I don't want somebody to go into like a store and base their purchase off of like a design when they don't know the backstory behind the brand first, you know what I mean?
And at least like, I mean, maybe you like in terms of FTP, maybe you get to that point sometime, but like, I mean, you need to grow steadily. Like we see that with rappers, you see the clothing lines. It's like if they don't grow steadily, it's such a huge risk of it just becoming played out or just getting a whack vibe about it, you know?
Right. I mean, I'm not really worried about that because the kids that fuck with my shit know that it's not even whack. I mean, shit. They just know. Yeah. I don't think it'll get played out. I got a few moves coming up, though, to make sure that shit won't happen ever.
When you think about moves, you think about doing collaborations with different people, or like what do you see as like
I got a couple different collaborations coming out with some major companies, and then I'm planning on opening my own store.
Really?
Yeah.
What area are you thinking? LA.
I gotta see. It's gonna definitely be LA, but I gotta see the exact area I want it, because I don't want it to be like typical Fairfax or like La Brea. It's got to be somewhere where I like the vibes.
Describe how you feel when you walk down Fairfax. Like what level of like vomit rising up in your throat do you feel when you're walking around there?
Shit, I don't even go there ever.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's cool. A couple of the stores are cool, but it's just not my personal like vibe.
I don't even think the people there. I think even like the dudes from Supreme or whatever, they've been there forever. I'm sure that they kind of have that feeling too. Is like, oh, there's so much fucking whack shit around here.
But the street is just kind of corny to me. Like, I don't know, just a bunch of cool ass kids, like just I don't know, linking up or whatever.
Yeah,
shit's all corny to me, man.
How you got all these motherfuckers writing songs about you, like Suicide Boys and Purple Goop and shit?
Suicide Boys is cool as fuck. We like followed each other and shit, and then I think we wanted to do like a collaboration together, but I was like, I don't want to do clothes, so I was like, yo, can you make a song titled this? And then they did it, and then that shit's crazy. Their shit got like 1 million or close to 500,000 on that song on YouTube or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna play the first 60 seconds of that song right now in the podcast. Boom. We're back. That was the Suicide Boys, Fuck the Population. So you hung out with those guys or you just met them online?
No, I don't know who they are at all. We're supposed to link up, I think, in maybe Arizona. I'm going to go with them on like 3 stops of their tour or some shit.
Yeah, you got some tour shit going on in Texas right now too, right?
That was, what date was that on? Yeah, that was maybe on the 7th.
But were you there for that or?
I was there.
Okay, you went out. And what was it?
It was me and Goth Money. Just
okay.
I just sold clothes and they did their little performance.
Right. How do you know them?
Just natural connection. I don't know actually. I just met with one of them and then all of them fuck with me.
I just had Crane here. That probably was what made you feel more comfortable doing the interview, right?
Yeah, that's the homie, man.
I'm getting all the shy young dudes who are like popping, but like they never did a podcast before. That's kind of my aim, to be honest. Like there's a whole lane of like podcasts available or like people that haven't done long form interviews that I think are popping, but that like are kind of ignored by certain media. I don't know. Right. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Craig's a homie though. All of those dudes are cool as shit, man. Yeah. Normal people before rappers.
You are you single? You in a relationship? What's your status?
I'm single, man. I'm chilling. I'm just focused on my brand right now. I just want to get it to where I want to get it to. Like before I focus on like a girl
settling down, all that bullshit. You're 21. You don't need to think about that. Right. My advice.
I had a little girl or whatever, but I'm chilling. Just chilling, man.
What's your drug use perspective? You hang out with a lot of motherfuckers that are drinking lean and popping pills and shit.
Yeah.
You into that stuff?
I don't do any of that shit.
Ever?
Nah.
You don't smoke weed?
Nah, I smoke weed.
Okay.
But I don't do like the lean and the Zans or whatever.
Right.
I mean, the homies do that shit though, and that's what they want to do. So let them do it.
But do you think that if you were fucking with shit like that you would have a harder time focusing on the business?
Most definitely.
Are you an obsessive personality in terms of like, is this all you think about?
The brand?
Yeah.
All the time. That's the only thing I think about.
And is that I don't know, like say you go into work on an average day, like what are you working on? Or like what's your mentality when you wake up first thing in the morning? Actually, is probably even a better question.
Shit, nowadays, because I need to survive, like I have my own spot, I need to eat. So now it's like, what am I going to drop next?
Right. Even
though I don't want to drop too many clothes, but I still need to fucking make the $895 a month so I could pay my rent.
Right.
At my house.
And so what do you are you on a schedule in terms of like putting stuff out, or do you just kind of make stuff as you feel like it and just put it out?
Make it as I feel. Just if the timing is right. Like I don't really fuck with seasons too much. I do them sometimes, but I don't fuck with like releasing seasons. I'll just release whatever the fuck I want to release whenever.
Yeah, as it goes online.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. If you have a store though, it's going to be harder to keep up the whole anonymous thing.
I won't be working it.
Yeah, true. You could be in there with the mask on or whatever, but then that's a whole nother expense if you can't work there.
Nah. I'm gonna have the homies work there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that shit though.
I got this fucking quote from Virgil right here. Streetwear is like disco. When it started, disco was cool, but the term didn't age well, and neither did the genre. All of us who are classified as streetwear, it's up to us how it's defined, and that's why I hope the evolution of... And you start talking about his brand, but he said, I think that's why I hope that the evolution of Off-White is so apparent. The definition of Off-White is the gray area between two concepts, streetwear and proper fashion.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a pretty interesting concept, because think about like
quote.
Disco. That was the hottest shit in the world in the 80s.
Hell yeah, that shit was popping, man.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a weird term though, because it's like you still have music that comes out that could kind of fall into that category now, but it's like that it went so big for a while that then it killed the whole classification.
Yeah. That's a good ass quote though. I feel that most definitely.
Yeah. Shit. What do you think of Virgil? What do you think of the whole Off-White thing?
I don't really pay attention to it.
That's not like on your radar?
Nah, he could be a cool person. I think I dissed him the other day.
Oh, really?
There was like a complex streetwear class taught by Virgil or some shit. I just didn't know. I just didn't like that shit. So he could be a cool person. though. He might be. The Off-White shit might be cool too. But I don't pay attention to it.
But do you think about that though? Like when you're saying some shit, talking some shit on Twitter, does it occur to you like, you know, to be careful because you want to keep like the possibility of working with people in the industry alive, or you feel comfortable just going in?
I feel comfortable saying whatever I want, like, cause I don't care. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, I'm not trying to work with him, so I don't really give a fuck.
And see, you're coming from a good perspective too, because you got nothing to lose, because you're still pretty small. It's like you burn some bridges. It's like whatever, who gives a fuck.
Yeah,
right?
I'll burn as many bridges. I don't really care, man. It's shit.
What do you keep on your bedside table?
My bed is small as hell, so there's a bottle of NyQuil actually right now.
Oh, really? You're on that? That's your version of the syrup?
Nah, I just need it to sleep sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't really get a lot of sleep, so I need that shit to sleep. It's pretty bad. Like, the dude Speaks told me I need to lay off that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be scary. As soon as you start relying on something to go to sleep, that's how I'm with weed, man. If I can't fucking smoke, it's so hard to go to bed.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I need to chill with that shit, though, because my, like, little kidneys are a little fucked up right now.
Yeah. So what do you do anything that helps you like relax or anything? Is there anything that you do to like get your mind right, or are you just working all the time?
I'm just pretty much working all the time, trying to make new shit, because I just want to keep like the kids seem to fuck with my shit, like they really fuck with it. So I just want to keep making product that they could wear and have that shit as like a full uniform. Got these pants coming soon.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just always working, man, 24/7 for the most part.
When it comes to like going beyond, you know, like more simple shits like jackets and shirts and stuff like that, do you have like cut and sew aspirations? Do you think of the brand becoming something like that?
I want to do a lot of cut and sew. The problem is like money, and then I don't have some of the resources I'm still looking for.
Yeah.
I can still make a cut and sew jacket or whatever, but it's like the money. I got the money for it. It's just like you put all your money into this jacket, then you can just release the jacket, and you can't release the whole collection. So
have you ever had anybody offer to like partner up with you to help you like make the brand bigger?
Yeah, like a few investors or whatever, but I'm not going down that road ever.
Yeah.
Like my mind is real focused as to what I want to do. Like I don't want anybody's help. Like I got a homie helping me pack orders right now though, but I don't want anybody's help or like really too much advice. I just want to do like what I want to do.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
Because that's what got you to this point in the first place.
Yeah,
is
no help at all. Like
being focused.
I mean, besides design help, I don't need anything else, man.
See, that's interesting, because I think like a previous generation would have just been really gung-ho excited about the concept of just getting huge. But it's like younger brands now, I think that they've seen streetwear brands get huge, and they see how it's not necessarily the best thing.
That's kind of where my mentality comes from.
Right.
Basically, just seeing everybody else fuck up. So I think I know what I want to do, and just like the level I'm at. I'm real happy where I'm at now, to be honest.
Yeah. You ever see any brands who like came out, you were a fan of them, and then they just fucked it up that come to mind?
I'm gonna say Fresh Jive.
Okay, but they probably fucked it up like.
Well, yeah.
like,
but I mean, they were killing shit. Like I used to go to Reserve and cop the little 3 for $20 tees on like they might have been Black Friday every year. And then now they don't. They might have done like a little comeback now, but they don't make clothes anymore.
Yeah, they don't make clothes anymore at all.
I don't think so.
Really?
They might have tried to do a comeback like 6 months ago, but I don't know if it went through.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think they make clothes
I
anymore.
remember hearing about that too, but I'm not 100% sure if they're like still in the middle of it with that shit.
Yeah, I hope so. That was one of my favorite brands, man.
What do you think of the Yeezy shit?
Yeezy, like just the whole
thing in general. I seen you tweeting about it a little bit.
I was just tweeting out a funny video of me wearing a fucking little funny robe thing. I don't care about it though. The black Yeezys are cool as shit though. I tried to get those, but I don't really care too much about whatever the little Yeezy shirts and shit.
What's the most you ever spent on clothes or on sneakers?
Sneakers. Let me see. I think I got 3 pairs of clear Air Forces.
Okay.
Let me see. I might have spent like 4 or 5 on those or something.
Uh-huh.
I'm not really too big of a sneaker fan.
Really?
I got the little Supreme 5s. No, I got some Huffs on right now.
Okay.
But Supreme 5s, I think I spent like 2 on those. So
When you were working at Huff, how did they feel when you would all of a sudden be beefing with dudes like the Hundreds or whatever who they probably have a relationship, at least to some extent, right?
It's all funny. They laugh at it.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're cool as hell to me. They treat me like a family. They thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's dope. It's good that they're in that position that they can laugh at it. You know, that it's not that big a deal to them. Yeah.
Nah, they don't care, man. They're chilling.
Yeah.
They're cool as fuck.
Shit. I think I just hit the end of my list of questions.
Word.
You got any other topics that are important to you? What you been up to that we need to know about?
I just been working. That's really all I do. I don't have too much of an exciting life, man. I stay in my little small ass studio and just chill or go to the homie's house and work on shit.
See, that's good, man. Once you get too many distractions, it can be really rough. Like, I'm running so many different businesses at the same time and shit that it's like, you know, you end up spread thin. And like, for me, it's like I have to put myself on like a really strict schedule in terms of like, I need to be able to get this amount of stuff done. Being your own boss is hard, right?
It's hard. It's real hard. It's cool, though. That shit is real cool to know that some kid in another part of the world is wearing your shit, man.
Yeah. Did you have, because like for me personally, like I had that mentality since I was real young that it was like I knew I couldn't really have like a job. I knew I couldn't, that I had to get into the position where I could be my own boss and do my own thing. Were you always that kind of person where it's like you knew you needed to be?
Definitely. I knew I had to have my own shit because I'm not the type I don't want to work for anybody. I don't want to work under anybody or take any orders or nothing. So I knew I had to have my own shit. And I'm real glad this FTP shit's working out for me, like on that type of level where I could just do that shit by itself.
I think my thing is that I'm just too negative. I hate everything. So then it's like, it's hard. I remember like when I first found out about like Karma Loop. This is maybe in like 2006, 2007.
Fuck Karma Loop, man.
Yeah, you ever get fucked over by them? No, you probably never sold to them, right?
Nah, never.
Yeah.
Trash.
But I remember when I first found out about it that I was like interested in some of the brands and I started to like look into them more and more. And then I just became convinced, like, yo, this shit is whack. Like, most of these brands don't have any fucking substance to them.
All whack.
And it's that anger. It's like the fact that I actually didn't like it. I actually fucking hated it. And that, like, drives you to do something. If you don't like anything around you, it drives you to stop everything. So I think, like, me being really negative about everything that I see was ultimately, like, a fucking asset because it made me want to go out there and do different things.
That helped me a lot, too. I'm real negative, too.
Yeah, I can see that in you, that you might... Not that you're, like, a negative person, because I think with both of us, we're, like, successful, so we have a certain level of, like, contentment. But at the same time, it's like, when we talk about, you know, walking around, like, you go to Agenda, it's like, to a lot of people, Agenda is really fucking cool. Like, oh, look at all these great brands.
Yeah.
I do not relate to that.
I hate it, man.
Yeah.
That's why I paid all this money. I'm going to do their little booth, I think, in whatever month it is, and just fucking diss everybody.
Right. I mean, they need that, though. They need people to come in and stir shit up.
They called me and told me they need me at the thing. So.
Yeah, probably, yeah, because they know that they need the hot shit. I went there, like, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I haven't been in a minute. I said I would start going once we started doing booths, but we didn't get there yet. But it was like a fucking... The way I described it afterwards, I was like, yo, it was like a ratchet war. It was like a war to see who could be the most ignorant. It's like...
I don't know how to even explain it.
Because that was the time period where everybody was going so hard with just big words on hats.
Right.
And then I seen motherfuckers with gold letters, and it's like metal affixed to the hat, and it's like $150. And I'm like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever fucking seen.
It's crazy. I don't even know what people make anymore, man.
It's embarrassing. But it's like when a brand doesn't have an identity and they don't have anything to go on and they don't have any substance, then they start doing stuff like that because it's just a competition, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, streetwear game's fucked up. But we got Zach from FTP out here trying to solve things. Who do you owe a shout out to? Who are you trying to thank?
Shit, I don't owe anybody, but like shout out to like Anwar, my homie Kobe, his Death Precision, Phil from Dirtbag,
Right.
Adam from Foul Play, And shit, shout out to whole Goth Money. I guess I don't owe anybody shit though, but shout out to all those people I just named and a few others.
Can we end this with what the other FTP song that Brandon Began, my homie, he keeps playing it. It's the Curb La Goop one.
Yeah.
You want to end with that?
We could do that.
I've heard this song 5 fucking million times playing from my room or the room next to me because my roommate's always listening to it.
Yeah, we could do that, man.
Yeah, shit's fire. All right, well, thank you very much to Zach from FTP, Fuck the Population, coming through. Where could they find you online? What's the Twitter and the Instagram and shit?
The brand Twitter is at FTP, and then the Instagram is
It's really it's at FTP.
Yeah, it was hella hard to get.
How the fuck did you get that?
It was in high school, like 2010, like emailing Twitter every day. The shit was unused though. It was somebody had it, but it was like unused. But it took me like 8 months to get it. Well, I'm real happy I got that shit.
Damn. Did you end up having to pay for it?
Nah, never.
Damn, you got lucky then. I want the Instagram handle Adam22 with the 22, the numbers.
I got you with that. I got a little.
For real? You know how to do this?
I got to connect over there.
Because it's just an unused one, and instead I got my shit spelled out, TWENTY, TWO. It's kind of confusing.
I can get it for you by tomorrow if the dude is responding.
For real?
Yeah, honestly.
All right, let's get it.
And then the Instagram is at FuckThePopulation. It's spelled out and shit.
Hell yeah. All right. Thank you very much to Zag. This has been No Jumper. You can check us out weekly or bi-weekly. We're just trying to keep it weekly, doing interviews with all the most important, or not the most important, but the most interesting, the most relevant motherfuckers in the game, streetwear, hip-hop, whatever. So tune into my shit. Check us out. Subscribe to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. And thank you very much to Zach for coming through and doing this. I think we all learned a lot about one of the more interesting anti-streetwear brands out there, as the motherfuckers are saying in the press. So thank you, Zach.
Of course, man.
Yeah. Peace.